All right, ready to go behind the scenes.
Always.
Today, we're taking a deep dive into the world of a performance lighting director.
Ooh, fun.
Yeah, and we've got some awesome insights from, you guessed it,
RoleCatcher.
of course. Their career guides are always spot on.
They really are. This one especially, like, it's not just your typical job description thing.
Right, right.
It's got the real deal.
Yeah, that's what I love about RoleCatcher. They really give you the inside scoop.
Totally.
So we're not just talking about, like, what buttons to push on a lighting board, right?
No. Think of it this way. You're handed a script, right? But instead of words, you're using light to tell the story.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
So you're shaping the mood.
The atmosphere.
Even how the audience, like, connects emotionally with what they're seeing.
Exactly.
So it's like being a visual storyteller,
Yes.
but with a whole different kind of toolbox.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing.
That's really cool. But before we get into, like, the nuts and bolts of, like, lighting design and all that, I'm curious about the career path itself. Like, what surprised you in RoleCatcher's breakdown?
Honestly.
Yeah.
The negotiation skills part.
Really?
Yeah.
I wouldn't think that's, like, crucial for a creative field like this.
Right. You wouldn't think so.
Mm.
But when you're dealing with budget stuff,
Yeah.
tight deadlines,
Yeah.
and sometimes,
Yeah.
strong personalities,
Oh, yeah.
being a skilled negotiator
Kidding
make
me.
or break you,
Wow.
for sure.
That's fascinating. So even for someone with, like, a natural eye for design, there's this whole strategic, almost like business-minded aspect to being successful.
Absolutely.
Huh.
100%. And that's something that often gets overlooked.
Yeah.
It's not just about, like, I've got a good eye. It's about, like, advocating for your vision, navigating all the, like, constraints,
Yeah.
and finding those creative solutions within limitations.
Right. Right.
Just tough.
That makes a lot of sense. Now, RoleCatcher, they break down the career into stages, right?
They do.
From, like, those first steps all the way to becoming a seasoned pro.
Yeah.
Okay.
They lay it all out.
So it starts, as you might imagine, with those entry-level roles.
Exactly.
Like a lighting technician.
Yeah, lighting technician.
So you're basically learning the ropes, getting a feel for the stage, so to speak.
Exactly.
Okay.
And RoleCatcher gives a great example of what someone in that position actually, like, experiences.
Okay.
It's a lot of, like, assisting the performance lighting director, setting up equipment, mastering the basics of lighting design, even troubleshooting, like those inevitable technical hiccups.
That's what there's always, though.
Always.
Yeah. It sounds like a lot of hands-on learning, which honestly is probably the best way to really understand how everything works.
I think so, 100%.
Yeah.
It's those early experiences that really build the groundwork for, a successful career.
Yeah.
You're not just learning the technical stuff, but you're, like, absorbing the rhythm of a production.
Oh, wow.
The language of collaborating, the importance of sweating the small stuff.
Right.
Because even a misplaced cable can throw off an entire scene.
Oh, I bet.
Oh, yeah.
It's all about paying your dues.
Yes.
Proving yourself as, like, a reliable member of the team.
Exactly.
Okay, so once you've mastered the basics as a lighting technician, what's next?
That's where things get really interesting.
Okay.
You typically move up to a lighting assistant.
Okay.
And this is where you start getting more involved in the creative side of things.
So less about wrenches.
Less about the wrenches and
Yes.
more about actually shaping the lighting design.
Precisely.
Okay.
Yeah, so you might be assisting the performance lighting director with researching new lighting technologies, experimenting with different concepts, or even, like, coordinating rehearsals to see how the lighting interacts with the performers and the set.
Oh, wow. So it's really about, like, the whole picture.
The whole picture, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. It sounds like a crucial stepping stone, not just for, like, developing your artistic vision, but also for building relationships with the people you'll be working with.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because the world of performance lighting is all about collaborations.
Right.
And that's something that RoleCatcher really emphasizes throughout the guide, the importance of networking, building a strong portfolio, and showcasing not just your technical skills, but also your ability to work effectively as part of a creative team.
It's like being a member of a band.
Yes.
Everyone has their individual talent, but it's like the synergy of working together that creates something truly magical.
100%.
Yeah.
And as you progress through the ranks, that collaborative spirit becomes even more important,
Right.
especially when you reach, the role of lighting designer.
Okay, so let's talk about that transition because it seems like a pretty big leap going from assisting to actually calling the shots.
It is. It is.
Yeah.
And that's where those negotiation skills we talked about earlier
Oh, yeah.
really come into play.
Okay.
Because as a lighting designer, you're collaborating directly with the director to translate their vision into a concrete lighting plan.
So you're not just dealing with, like, technical specifications anymore. You're interpreting artistic ideas, navigating different perspectives, and finding that sweet spot where creativity meets practicality.
100%. And this is where you really get to flex those artistic muscles.
Yeah.
You're using your knowledge of lighting techniques, your understanding of color theory, even your intuition to create that desired mood and atmosphere for each scene.
It's like, I imagine it's like painting with light, using highlights and shadows to add depth and emotion to the performance.
That's a great way to put it.
Yeah.
What's fascinating is that a lot of this happens behind the scenes.
Right.
The audience might not, like, consciously realize how much thought and artistry goes into each lighting cue, but it has a profound impact on their overall experience.
It's like subliminal storytelling.
Yes.
You're subtly guiding the audience's emotions, their focus, even their understanding of the story through the way you manipulate light and shadow.
And that, I think, is what makes the role of a lighting designer so rewarding.
Oh, I bet.
You have this incredible power to shape the way people perceive and connect with a performance.
Oh, wow.
Even if they're not fully aware of it.
It's almost like being a magician in a way, creating these illusions and emotions with this, like, often overlooked element of stagecraft.
Exactly. And the coolest part, this is just the beginning of the journey. From here, the path leads to the coveted role of performance lighting director.
Ooh, the maestro of light and shadow.
Exactly.
Okay, so tell us, what does it take to reach this level? And what exactly does a performance lighting director do?
Well, think of it like you're conducting an orchestra.
Right. Okay.
But instead of musical instruments, you're conducting the light itself.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a cool way to think about it.
So you're setting the overall vision for the lighting design, managing a team of, like, crazy talented technicians and designers. And you're making sure that every cue, every transition, everything just, like, aligns with the director's creative vision.
Okay, so it's a huge responsibility, not just, like, creatively, but also in terms of, like, leadership and project management.
Yeah, 100%.
Wow.
You're the one who needs to keep the big picture in mind, but you're also sweating the small stuff.
Right.
You're responsible for the budget,
Right.
the schedule, the safety of the team.
Of course.
And, of course, the artistic integrity of the entire lighting design.
It sounds like a role that requires a really unique blend of technical expertise,
Yeah.
artistic vision,
Total.
and those people skills.
People skills, yeah, for sure.
Right. Because you're managing a team.
100%. And don't forget, like, the ability to thrive under pressure.
Oh, yeah.
Because, let's be real,
Yeah.
in the world of live performance,
Yeah.
anything can happen.
Right. So for those who are, like, drawn to this career path, what advice would you give them? Like, what are the key qualities that make a great performance lighting director?
Okay, well, first and foremost, you absolutely have to be passionate about the power of light.
Yeah.
To tell those stories and evoke all those emotions, you need to be a creative problem solver, collaborative spirit, and honestly, like, a bit of a tech geek at heart.
Yeah. Gotta love the tech.
Gotta love it.
Right.
Gotta love it, yeah. And
probably not afraid of a little hard work.
definitely not.
Right.
Long hours, for sure.
Yeah.
But it's so worth it.
Yeah, because this is a field where you are constantly learning and evolving,
Yeah.
pushing the boundaries of what's possible.
100%.
With light.
With light. Yeah, exactly.
Like, you're a magician, you know, constantly refining your craft, coming up with new ways to, like, amaze and inspire.
Inspire your audience, exactly.
Your audience, yeah.
And that sense of wonder, that desire to create something truly magical, that's at the heart of what it means to be a performance lighting director.
I love that.
But, you know, there's one crucial aspect we haven't really touched upon yet.
What's that?
The challenges.
Right. Every spotlight has its shadow.
It does.
Okay, let's shed some light on those hurdles next.
Let's do it.
On the deep dive. So, we've talked about the magic, the collaboration, the problem solving, all the good stuff.
That's fun stuff.
Right, but what about, like, those moments where the spotlight fades a little and the challenges, you know, they take center stage?
That's real.
What are some of the hurdles that performance lighting directors really have to, like, navigate?
Well, you know, one of the biggest ones, and this might sound kind of surprising, is actually dealing with darkness.
Darkness. I mean, I know it's all about light and shadow.
Right.
But isn't darkness kind of like a given in this field?
It is.
Yeah.
But it's not just about the absence of light, right?
Right.
It's about managing expectations,
Oh.
especially when you're working with a director who might have a very, very different vision for how a scene should look and feel.
Ah, so it's like those creative differences where you have to like advocate for your ideas, but also respect the overall vision.
And it's not always easy.
Yeah, I bet.
You might have spent like hours perfecting this lighting design.
Right.
Only to have the director say, I was thinking something a little more gloomy.
Ouch. That's gotta sting a little.
Yeah.
Especially when you're like really passionate about your work.
Totally, totally. And that's where, again, those negotiation and communication skills
Right.
really come in handy.
Yeah.
It's about finding a way to like bridge that gap. Explain your choices
so that
in a way that resonates with their vision.
It's almost like you're speaking two different languages.
Yeah.
The language of light and then the language of storytelling.
Exactly.
And you have to find a way to like translate between the two.
Yes, 100%. And sometimes that means, compromising,
Right.
letting go of an idea that you absolutely love.
Right.
Because it doesn't quite serve that overall story.
It's not just about like creating a beautiful lighting design like in isolation. It has to actually make sense.
It's got to fit.
That's part of a larger whole.
Exactly. And speaking of emotional impact, another challenge that lighting directors often face is dealing with, well, the emotional roller coaster of the job.
Okay, now I'm intrigued. What do you mean by that?
Well, think about it. I mean, you're working in this high-pressure environment,
Right.
often with super long, crazy hours, tight deadlines, and you're constantly pouring your creativity and your energy into these productions.
Right.
Only to have them end.
Right. It's not like other art forms where you have this tangible thing that lasts.
Exactly.
A play, a film. It's fleeting. It's over.
Yeah.
Once the curtain falls or the credits roll, it's done.
Exactly. And that can be tough, especially for those who really thrive on the energy of that live performance.
Right.
You're putting your heart and soul into something.
Right.
And then poof, it's over.
It's gone.
Yeah, it's this constant cycle of creation and letting go.
It's bittersweet though, right?
Yeah.
It's like saying goodbye to a friend after this amazing adventure.
Totally.
Like you're happy for the experience, but you're a little heartbroken that it's come to an end.
Yeah, it's super bittersweet, but
I imagine those goodbyes make way for like new beginnings, new collaborations, new stories to tell.
New stories, exactly.
With light.
Yes, and that's the beauty of it, right?
Yeah.
It's this constant journey of discovery, pushing yourself creatively and technically.
Play learning.
Yes, and collaborating with incredible people who share that same passion.
It sounds like the perfect blend of artistry and technical skill.
It is.
And a little bit of magic, I would say.
100%. And for those who are drawn to the world of performance lighting,
Yeah.
the rewards, they totally outweigh the challenges.
They do.
They do, for sure.
Well, you certainly shed some light on a fascinating career path.
It's so fun.
It is fun.
I love it.
Yeah. So for those listening who might be considering this as a career, what is one thing you wish someone had told you when you were first starting out?
Honestly, don't be afraid to experiment, take risks, make mistakes.
Yeah.
Because that's how you learn and grow.
Yeah,
right?
Totally.
And I think never underestimate the power of mentorship.
Oh, that's huge.
It's huge. Find someone you admire in the field and just soak up all their knowledge.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Well, on that note, I think we should probably bring this deep dive to a close. Hopefully we've sparked some curiosity.
I hope so.
Inspired you to see the world in a whole new light.
New light, exactly.
Maybe even consider a career as a performance lighting director.
There you go.
So until next time, thanks for tuning in to The Deep Dive.